Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Yes, Nithyanandam. We welcome you all to another exciting episode on Nithyananda TV. I am Srinitya Brahma Sukhananda Maharaj, and we have with us our co-host, Srinitya Paramashivoham Maharaj. Nithyananda Maharaj, how are you? How are you doing? Great. So Maharaj, today we have with us a very fresh and exciting topic, right? Today's topic that we have chosen to discuss amongst us and with our viewers also is the power of Hindu identity. Right? In Hindu identity, what all we carry as the Hinduness amongst us, the Hindus of today. What does it mean to be a Hindu in today's world at a deeper level, at the experiential level, as well as the, at the level of the outer world, how we relate with people, what we do, how we act, everything put together is the Hindu identity that we carry. So what is the value of this Hindu identity today in the world? And before we even get into the discussion, we have some exciting statistics with us that show that Hindu identity has literally a lot of utility value, right? It's extremely valuable to be a Hindu in today's world. Now, let's look at the statistics. I have some statistics with me, Maharaj. So even if we just look at the basic statistics, they tell a lot of story. They reveal a lot of facts, interesting facts. So let's say, for example, in the US, the richest ethnic community is Hindus, with income literally more than $120,000. That is the highest. Yeah. That is the highest. 1% of the US population is Hindu, and they are the richest population, the highest taxpayers. And literally, the income is one of the ways we measure the success of people, the success of community, how much they are contributing, how much they're alive, active, And literally, Hindus are coming out to be the best performers in this sector. Best income, the highest income. Next, if we come to how many, in the US itself, in how many people, or how many Hindus are living in poverty. If you look at the statistics, the general statistics for the US population of how many people are living in poverty in general, below poverty line, is 30% for the US. It's 30%, the general US population. If we look at only the Asians in US, It is 10%. 10% of Asians in the United States are living in poverty. Now, what is that number for Hindus? Do you have any guesses? It's less than 6%. In general, US population, 30% is living under poverty, and for Hindus, it's just merely 6%. Coming to education, the core, because we know as Hindus, education literally forms the bedrock of our Hindu identity, right? Yeah. So strong, so much of value we put in education. These are the facts, Maharaj. See, 80% of Hindus in the United States hold a bachelor's degree. 80% of Hindus. Okay. This is among the Hindu population, 80% of the people have a higher education, a bachelor's degree minimum. Okay. Right? And this same number is in general for the average American population is 33%. So 1/3 of general United States population is having a higher educational degree, a bachelor's degree. But among a Hindu population, if we look only the Hindus, it is 80%. This shows how much of value we put in the education. Most educated people, the richest people. And even if you look at the education, what are they really getting educated in? What are they studying? 36% go in engineering. Another 30% go in mathematics and computer science, right? Again, engineering, computer science, and 10% go in business and management, right? So it's basically the STEM fields, the STEM sectors, right? Science, mathematics, engineering, computer science, building stuff, literally. And everything. Exactly. Business, management, that's what they want to do. They want to do stuff. They want to create stuff, build stuff, right? So that's where the Hindus really are going in the United States. Another interesting fact, very similar to this, is the startup founders, right? Now, as we already discussed, 1% of the United States population is Hindu, right? 1% is Hindu. But here's the thing, 8% of the Hindu population are the founders of one startup or the another. Oh, 8%. Okay. Yes. 1% of the US population, but 8% among the startup founders are Hindu. See, so much of difference, right? Population-wise, they're just 1%. But if you look at the startup founders, 8% of them are Hindu, from 1 to 8%, right? And out of these, 1/3 of these overall tech startups are founded by Hindus in the United States. Whole Silicon Valley, 1/3 of the founders are Hindus. Not just startups, any company, CEOs, founders, so many successful people are Hindu. So many companies, so many startups, the CEOs, successful people are Hindu, one after the another. If you look at the top 10 or top 100, we'll find numerous Hindus really contributing, successful people. Not just the outer world success, the family. If you look at the family life, relationships, if you look at, for example, one of the measures, one of the metrics we use is divorce rate. Literally, Hindus have the lowest divorce rate in the entire US population. Less than 6%, I think 5% is the study, what the study shows. Some study shows even less than 2%, right? Such a low divorce rate, stable families, which ultimately leads to proper bringing up of children with the right values, proper security, proper way of upbringing, everything. It brings proper education, saving and for the education, everything literally ties down to and leads to the entire proper what we see as the outer world success of Hindus even today. And not just that, Hindus are the most non-violent community, least crime rate. If you look at the prison population in the United States, hardly any Hindus are there. Hardly any Hindus are there. So one statistic after statistic after statistic show that just being a Hindu, literally you are an asset for the world. You are an asset, literally an asset for the world. You're contributing most. You should be proud to be a Hindu. Exactly. You should be proud to be a Hindu because these are the numbers. It's a facts. It's been proven and established now that being a Hindu literally makes you an asset for the entire world. Just by being the Hindu, carrying the Hindu identity. This is what the results are. Hindu identity. This is the results. This is the utility value of being a Hindu. In fact, not just a statistic. If you look at our personal experiences, maybe Maharaj, you can also share how this Hindu identity, how the Hindu upbringing, what all kinds of values it cultivated in you, through the parents, teachers, and overall the community, being Hindu, having the Hindu identity, how it shaped you, how it evolved you, ultimately leading to your guru, our guru, Swamiji. Yes?
So I would love to tell.
Great.
So I was born and brought up in a Hindu family. From the time I was born, I was a Hindu and I grew up as a Hindu. And growing up and how I developed my Hindu identity, what was my Hindu identity, how it's developed, how I started my, the Hindu way. Yes. First, in my family, my parents used to go to the temples. We all used to regularly, very frequently, we used to go to the temples.
Okay.
There our Kuladeva means our family God's temple.
Family God, yeah?
Yeah, family God's
okay.
temple. We used to very frequently visit the temples.
And
even otherwise, any occasion, anyone's birthday, any festival, any occasion comes, we'll go to the local temples.
Okay.
We'll go around to the temples. And apart from that, in our house itself, we used to do a lot of festivals. Any festival there is, like if it is Ganesh Chaturthi, we used to get Ganesha, we used to celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi. And my grandmother is a like she's very like orthodox. She used to like early morning, like 5.
Devout Hindu.
Yeah, devout Hindu, correct, yes.
Okay.
Like morning 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, she'll be awake, and when no one will be awake at that time, like really the whole neighborhood will be like
still asleep.
The neighborhood
Okay.
will be asleep. But
Yeah.
she will wake up, she'll be chanting something in her own
Wow.
like she'll be awake. Like she'll be awake and she'll be practicing Hindu. So all these things I saw and grew up, and at that time it didn't make any change in my life. I didn't see how that is adding to my life at that time. I didn't see anything.
Yes.
Because I was going to a normal school. I was living like the others.
So-called normal school.
Yeah, so-called normal school. I was going.
Yes.
I was living like that. But how, if I see now how I used to handle situations back then, how the external situations affected my life, whether it is how I related to people, or how I was able to mainly handle situations.
Oh, really?
Handling situations was something very important. And I also used to have this any physical issues, like my immune system or anything like I had a weak immune system when I was small.
Okay.
I used to fall sick very frequently.
Okay.
So because of that, many times I used to go to the hospital, and my parents itself were doctors, so they used to treat me. I used to be having these many problems again. And we started following the Supreme Point of Hinduism with the grace and we had, like, we came to know about the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Swamiji, and how, like, all of this suddenly, like, when I joined the Gurukul, even before I joined the Gurukul, we used to follow Swamiji and Swamiji's teachings, and how so one Swami had come to our house also when I was small. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very
Such
nice.
a blessing.
Yes, that was a very rare opportunity which we had, and Swami had come to our house and all of that. But how all of this groomed me, how I am the way I am, how I built my Hindu identity. It is not just because I was born as a Hindu, or I was living like that. It is the Hinduism itself. What Hinduism gives to your life. It is not just in a level of you being born as a Hindu. It is much deeper than that. It is in the level of the DNA itself.
Yes.
That is what
yes.
Hinduism is.
Definitely. We'll come to that. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
What really is this? I would love to have that discussion with you. What really makes the Hindu identity, right?
Maharaj.
What it is, where is it really established? Where is it? Where it resides in us, right? So even if you talk about the Hindu identity, the value it brings to us and the whole overall society, because we have established this, we are right, it is an asset to be a Hindu. So we should be proud to call ourselves Hindu, to be a Hindu, proudly declare, boldly declare, I am a Hindu, right? And I'm proud to be a Hindu.
And I'll just continue.
Yeah, sure.
So after joining the Gurukul, and how these qualities developed in me. So it was just like a seed sown by my parents and grandparents, and the Supreme Point of Hinduism just like pushed the whole thing to a next level. After joining Gurukul, all the problems that I had physically just vanished. It never came up again. All the physical problems that I had, it was gone. Like, it was the next kind of breakthrough that I had. So everywhere, it's like a one level of growth that happened in me, physically, mentally, and all levels. And I had a breakthrough. And this time, it was like an upgrade of my identity, what I felt inside me, how it upgraded inside. That is what happened after the Supreme Point of Hinduism happened in my life. I mean, I know from very small age that we followed the Supreme Point of Hinduism from very small age. And I was 3 itself, I came to know about Swamiji. But when I joined Gurukul, was 9 years old. So that time only I started actually realizing what my parents had taught me, like going to the temples every day. How that is adding to you, how the temple ecosystem is adding to your life. That is very important. How that is adding to your identity.
At that time, you were mature enough to even realize what already the by the
Yes,
virtue
yes,
of the
yes,
parental
yes.
conditioning, even the Hinduness that was sowed in you, how valuable
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. So even
Right.
like all of these, only now I realize many things. Like when I was small, I used to not like what my parents did.
Okay.
But now when I look back, it is so much different. It is how I can see how it has helped me, how it has made me who I am, how it has made me a proud Hindu, how I am powerful in my life, able to handle any situations, able to be powerful in any situations in my life and hold on to that one powerfulness inside me, not giving up.
Yes.
That is what is the most powerful thing in my life. That
Not giving up.
Yes, never give up. That is something like very powerful that God sowed into me. Yes. Anything happens, do not give up. Just decide and manifest. That is what is Hindu identity. That is what was like awakened in me. Yes, Maharaj. So
Powerfulness. If we have to describe the entire Hindu identity in one word, it would be powerfulness.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Powerfulness with respect to everything.
Yes.
With how you see yourself, how you see others, how you relate with others, what you do, everything with respect to how you see the world, how you see God Himself. Powerfulness, powerfulness, powerfulness. That is the core of the Hindu identity. In fact, the unfortunate thing today, Maharaj, is that we have gone so far, far, far away. In general, I'm telling about the entire humanity. We have gone so far away from these core principles, so, from these values. And that's why we see so much of conflicts around us, so much of violence, so much of depression, this and that, all these things, because of us being gone away from these core principles. And unfortunately, even more, that as Hindus, we have forgotten our true values, true principles. We don't really cherish, we don't really value what we already are gifted with. We are actually blessed to be Hindu, right? When you were saying that earlier, I did not really appreciate what my parents were doing.
Yeah.
Similar story, I think most Hindus, for me as well. I remember my father, first, he's the one who taught me Gayatri Mantra at a very young age. Now I realize what he did at that time.
Yes, Maharaj. Actually, what happens is,
Yes.
it is, we feel that it is not the right thing for us because the society around us teaches us that what we are having is bad. Like we look around us, we see something different. We see that they are having a different lifestyle. And at that time, it looks pleasant for us. But actually, it is not.
It is shown to be pleasant.
Yes, it is shown to be pleasant, but it is actually not. So we try to follow that and we think that what we are getting is bad treatment and that is something better life, that is something good that they're having.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, just about pleasant, Hinduism is much more pleasant.
Yeah.
First of all, it is right.
Yes.
It is directly cosmic truths, living the cosmic truths. So if you're not living that, obviously we are not integrated to our core identity itself.
Yes.
Hindu identity is the core identity of any human being, any being actually.
Yeah. Yes.
That is the truth, right?
Yeah.
So we have gone far away from the core identity as beings, as human beings. That is the worst thing. And even, Hindu identity, it is not just the present, Maharaj. If you look at the history, Hindu civilization was the richest and most prosperous civilization, most spiritual, most, knowledgeable, scientific, any dimension. Best arts was there in the Hindu civilization. Entire world was literally flocking to the Hindu civilization to get trained in any dimension of life.
Yeah.
Right? Even warfare, everything, if you talk about.
Yes.
Hindu civilization was the best because of the Hindu identity, because the Hindu identity was flourishing in that part of the world. Because of that, only that prosperity, that richness, the magnificence, the glamour and the grandness of Hindu civilization is because of that core Hindu identity, the value of that Hindu identity. Even now, Hindus, even though they are not living in the same ecosystem, even if they are living somewhere else, anywhere else in the entire world, they are manifesting. Their DNA speaks for itself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Their DNA speaks for itself. They just manifest left and right. Even if they don't know that it is their Hindu identity that is speaking on their behalf.
Yes.
But that is what is actually happening.
Yes.
Right? Literally, the core of Hindu identity is this richness, is this prosperity, is this powerfulness. Right? Now, coming to the next level, Maharaj. Now we have understood that Hindu identity has value. It has utility value.
Yes.
It has, the core of it is powerfulness. One more thing I want to touch upon, Maharaj, is how to really protect it. Right? First thing, we have to see that it needs to be protected, right?
Yes.
Because it is facing attack. It is facing persecution by the anti-spiritual forces, especially since we have talked about powerfulness, people who don't want to see humans as powerful. If you fundamentally look at it, right? Who want to keep humanity as slaves, right? So they would naturally be intended, or tendency would be to somehow subjugate or suppress or eliminate the Hindu identity from planet Earth. And that is exactly what has been happening from last 2000 years, and even now it is happening, right? Another important thing, Maharaj, if maybe you can also press upon this, that Hindu identity is not just about some habits or belief systems, as you also touched upon, right? It's not just because my parents have been following, so I am following. No, it is something deeper, right?
It's much more deeper than how many years you've been living as a Hindu or what you've been practicing as a Hindu. It is much more deeper than any of this. It goes beyond all of this, and it goes beyond, like, goes thousands of years behind. It's not just from the time you're born, or your parents, grandparents, they living as Hindus. It is much more before that. It is from the time of the human civilization itself. When the Hinduism, from where the Hinduism originates, like each one of us, how from where we originated, we see that we are the descendants of the great rishis. We are the descendant of the great incarnations.
Paramashivoham himself. He established the first human civilization, right?
So we are his descendants. So we are having that DNA inside us. Each one of us in Hinduism, if you see, we have a gotra. We have a system that is called gotra. That is the beautiful system that we have, which is gotras. Means gotra, each is like different rishis are there, and we are the descendants of those great rishis. Like different gotras are there, Atreyasa gotra, and which gotra.
So basically, each gotra will carry the DNA blueprint of that particular rishi.
Yes, Maharaj.
Right? Wow.
Yes. So if, for example, I am from Atreyasa gotra, from where I had come, so I am Atreyasa gotra, means I'll have that the DNA of that rishi. So I'll have the power manifestation, I'll have the knowledge, I'll have the intelligence, I'll have what that rishi had
specialized in.
Yes, what that rishi was specialized in.
Yes.
That powers I will have in me already. It does not, you don't have to do anything for it. Just one trigger is enough for you to manifest that.
We'll come to that. What is that trigger? What is that trigger?
We'll come to that now.
Yes.
We'll come to that sometime.
Yes.
We'll keep that suspense.
Exactly. So basically, talking about the Hindu identity and where is it actually residing? It's not really just about habits, or it's not just about parental conditioning. It's not just because my forefathers were Hindu, so I am culturally a Hindu. It's not about body. It's not about mind. It's basically based on consciousness. It is basically based on the ultimate reality, that ultimate truth of the cosmos, the super conscious manifestation of the ultimate truth that we are Paramashiva. That is the ultimate Hindu identity, right? It is based on consciousness, and that is why it needs a conscious being to awaken this identity in us. It's not just a cultural identity or a social identity or a parental identity even. No. Hindu identity is fundamentally the cosmic identity which needs to be awakened by an enlightened being, by a Hindu guru. Thus, Hindu guru is extremely essential. It is a core of awakening, of even protecting the Hindu identity. Without Hindu gurus, Hindu identity cannot be protected because they form the really core of the entire Hindu ecosystem. They are the ones who awaken this super conscious DNA in our body, in our mind, in our basically the individual consciousness needs that initiation, that diksha, which is the science, which is the trigger that you are saying, right?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about initiation a little?
Yes, Maharaj. Initiation it's beyond words. Initiation is something that you receive from the divine avatars or the incarnations who have happened on the planet Earth just to enlighten the humanity. So when we receive initiation, it is like triggering the DNA inside you. It is awakening what is there inside you. He is not giving you anything that is like from outside. You already have everything inside.
Exactly.
Just the avatar initiates you and makes you manifest the higher possibilities for yourself. Just to say that you can say like Kundalini awakening. That is one way of initiation that happens. One way of the diksha that happens. Many of you might have heard the Kundalini awakening, opening of the chakras. All of these are different levels of initiation or the diksha that you can receive and awaken a higher possibility for yourself and manifest a higher life for yourself, which only an avatar can do, which can happen only with the grace and blessings and after a diksha of the avatar. This can happen
only someone who has the experience of the ultimate truth and also the adhikara, the authority to initiate others and to initiate others to in turn initiate others. Only by that being the super conscious this breakthrough, this lineage can be maintained. It is only because of this. Even the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism said in one of the satsangs that Hinduism is nothing but Guru Shishya Parampara.
Yes,
it is because of this lineage of passing through the initiation from Guru to disciple to disciple to disciple. This fire is kept alive. This science is kept alive on the planet Earth. That is the Hindu identity. So Hindu gurus only can, in fact, protect, they can revive, they can maintain, and they can continue the Hindu identity on planet Earth based on whatever time and age we are born in. It is they only the Hindu gurus, because of which the Hindu identity can be protected. Even now, if we see today, it is because of Hindu gurus only that the Hindu identity can be protected, right? And that is why the Hindu gurus are going through so much of persecution, right? Not just the last 1,000 years, so much of damage, so much of Holocaust, genocide the Hindus have faced. But even in that, see, temples were destroyed, libraries were destroyed, universities were destroyed, so much of destruction.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om
world as separate from us is just an illusion? What if our consciousness exists before all experience and is not limited to the confines of our body and mind?
Today, what I revealed is practically the whole Hinduism in a nutshell. If you make the column, you will see clearly most of your problems are internal non-understanding. When these internal non-understandings are cleared, life becomes Leela. You just manifest what you want. I'll make this as a realization in you all now through this initiation and darshan of Sadashiva.
The nature of consciousness. The source of awareness. The relationship between our ego and the world. This has plagued us for generations. We strive to understand why we are the way we are. Why our reality is the way it is. Why our life is the way it is. But what if the way we see the world as separate from us is just an illusion? What if our consciousness exists before all experience and is not limited to the confines of our body and mind?
Today, what I revealed is practically the whole Hinduism in a nutshell. If you make the column, you will see clearly most of your problems are internal non-understanding. When these internal non-understandings are cleared, life becomes Leela. You just manifest what you want. I'll make this as a realization in you all now through this initiation and darshan of Sadashiva.
The nature of consciousness. The source of awareness. The relationship between our ego and the world. This has plagued us for generations. We strive to understand why we are the way we are. Why our reality is the way it is. Why our life is the way it is. But what if the way we see the world as separate from us is just an illusion? What if our consciousness exists before all experience and is not limited to the confines of our body and mind?
Today, what I revealed is practically the whole Hinduism in a nutshell. If you make the column, you will see clearly most of your problems are internal non-understanding. When these internal non-understandings are cleared, life becomes Leela. You just manifest what you want there. I'll make this as a realization in you all now through this initiation and darshan of Sadashiva.
The nature of
Yes, Nithyananda, welcome back. We are here for the power manifestation segment in the today's episode on Nithyananda TV. We have with us Sri Shivashankarananda Maharaj.
Yes.
Nithyananda Maharaj, how are you?
Yeah,
How are you
fine.
doing?
Good.
Great. So we are having another power manifestation demonstration today. So before we come to the power Maharaj, just to introduce, we were talking about today the Hindu identity, the value of the Hindu identity, the value of Hinduness, the powerfulness that the Hindu identity brings, right?
Yeah.
So, and before power manifestation session, you told me something about Srinivasa Ramanujan,
Yeah.
right? The great Indian mathematician who was not just a mathematician, who was actually a power manifester.
Yeah, he's a power manifester.
Yes, exactly. Because all his theorems, all his results, it would simply get revealed to him, right?
Yes.
It's a famous story.
Yes.
In India, people would not recognize him, so he went to England, and there he worked on, countless results and theorems he would just reveal. And his peers would urge him, hey, you have to prove all this, right? Because until you prove all this, you will not really be accepted, in the so-called traditional way in the mathematical society, in the Royal Society, and this and that. But he was like, why do I need to prove? I'm just getting it. The interesting thing is his Ishtadevata, right?
Yeah.
Mukuru Mahalakshmi.
Mukuru Mahalakshmi, yes.
That is the story. You want to share what exactly was happening?
See, basically, like he was connecting to his Ishtadevata, which is like maybe a favorite god you can call, which is Mukuru Mahalakshmi. He was connecting and he was able to download all the maths, all the multiplications, algebra, this and that, all the complications, and people are going like above their head and they're not accepting actually that you're doing something, this and that and everything. So that was the case, and he was like proving, no, for him it was like a science, like it's a lifestyle for him that he was able to download and he was able to manifest all those maths, equations, and algebraic simultaneous, all those equations which was there, and it was easy for him, and he was able to pass and cross the professors, who has a degree in masters. Some of the professors who already have, when he traveled across the India, when he was going to the universities to perform all this, he was able to cross. The brilliance was very excellent because just by connecting with his Ishtadevata, which is Mukuru Mahalakshmi. This is one of the things.
Exactly, because he would say that she simply appears in my dreams and reveals all these results to me. It was such a normal lifestyle, such a sweet, intimate connection. That's all it was, right? Simple connection. But others, they would not really understand. But we have to tell today that it is because of his Hinduness that it happened.
Correct.
Right? It is the Hindu identity.
Yeah, he has the Hindu identity within him. It is still living, and even though he traveled abroad, the Hindu identity was able to spread across the people, even who was skeptical.
Right, exactly. But it's not just Indianness. What in Indian makes it very special is the Hinduness.
Yeah.
The Hindu identity. This is the core cognitions, the power manifestation is because of the Hindu identity that happening, and that is what happened in even him, in Srinivasa Ramanujan. Right? Now, from this context today, Maharaj, I personally feel we should do something related to math or mathematics. Do you have some interesting power for us?
Maybe
okay, let's see. Let's take it really from the basics. All right. Basically, Shiva Shankara Maharaj I will be putting an eye patch on him, so he will not be able to see through the two eyes, right? Two eyes. There's a third eye through which he will be seeing, and I will ask you some questions, maybe something related to numbers and this and that. Will that be okay? It's a challenge, right?
Yeah, maybe you can. Yeah, you just write down the numbers and see, and we can do some sums, maybe.
Sums as well.
Yeah.
Really?
As well.
Wow.
Why is that? Like it's the same thing. How Srinivasa Ramanujan was able to connect with his Ishtadevata, like Guru Mahalakshmi.
Yes.
For us, the Supreme Body of Hinduism.
Exactly.
It's like Swamiji is telling. Wow, Supreme Body of Hinduism, Swamiji is embodiment of all the gods and goddesses. So that even includes Guru Mahalakshmi. Yeah. So I don't see any difference.
I remember Swamiji saying that was the power of the length dimension, directly the mathematical results.
Like power of the logic, like even beyond logic.
Wow. That is the power of the third eye, is it?
third eye and logic both mixed together. something little extraordinary. Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, let's get it started.
Yeah.
Let's put, I have 2 eye patches with me and just show it to the audience. So these are the surgical eye patches. Actually, you will not be able to see through them at all, right? So let me just put it on Shiv Shankar Maharaj really quickly. That's one. Just give me 1 minute. Right, because
By the way, like if you want to comment any numbers to be actually like
sure.
put the numbers, like he's going to be actually writing in something. I don't know what he's going to be writing on.
I have some plans.
So maybe
Some
after I'm blindfold myself, he's going to see.
Yes, now I can guess.
Yeah,
So
it's fine.
Shiv Shankar Maharaj won't be able to see.
Yes.
Literally, this iPad literally, blocks your eyeballs.
Yeah, it's if you see normal the basics to be mentioning if somebody puts the eye patch, a normal person puts the eye patch, you will actually feel some kind of irritation because you can't move your eyeballs. you have to move, even though you are sleeping. Even though you are sleeping, like you move your eyeballs slightly.
So it's complete darkness
Yeah,
right now.
it's more than dark.
Okay, let me see. I'll write a couple of numbers. See
Yeah,
if
you
Shiv
can.
Shankar Maharaj is able to
But
see.
you can show that whatever you're going to the paper and the marker, you can just show it. So it's like a full proof that there's nothing actually written before.
Okay.
Let's make this.
Just to be sure, so this is a blank sheet. I'm going to write a number. Let's start with that.
Yeah. Any number. Any
number.
Yes. Okay. Maybe 1 digit number.
1 digit?
1 digit,
I'll go
2
through
digit,
this.
3 digits. Yeah.
I want to do this. Okay. So I'll show it to the public first.
Good.
This is the number which I have written. Shiv Shankar Maharaj, please tell us what the number is.
The number is 43.
Wow. Wow. 43 itself, it indeed is the number. One more.
Okay. So we can just write below that maybe.
Okay, yeah, we have space on the sheet.
Yeah.
So maybe. Okay. Wait, let me show to the viewers. This is our number. Okay, yes.
It's 71.
Wow. How do you do that? Oh God. Okay. So this is just enough. Yeah. You want to say something?
No. How do you do that? Maybe you have to experience with yourself. It's Swami.
How do you do that, Swami?
Just connect with him to be chanting the Mahavakya and connect with him,
him.
and you actually feel Swamiji's inside.
Wow.
You
Okay.
can go ahead next.
Let's give a simple addition. Okay.
That's what we try. It's a challenge actually. Even for me.
Yeah. I'll write the whole sum. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can write the 2 digit plus 2 digit to the down, and let's actually do real mathematical calculation.
Sure.
Show that to the public.
This is the sum that I've written. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's see Shiv Shankar Maharaj.
It's 12 plus 21. He has written, and show it like this.
Yeah.
Is 2 plus 1, which is 3, and 1 plus 2, which is 3, which is equivalent to 33.
Wow. Wow. Okay. One more.
Yeah, I mean, it's one more.
Correct answer. 33. Now I'm writing the answer I haven't written. Now, okay. Another sum. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. Yes. I will not tell what the sum is or what the question is. Can be anything. Okay. So this bottom one.
You're showing the public? Yes.
Yes, I'm showing the public. Now, Shiv Shankar Maharaj. All yours. Yes.
Okay. It's 44 plus 55, which is equivalent to 99.
He's on a roll. Wow. Okay. Great.
Maybe
Now one more.
you can go ahead with 3 digits, maybe.
3 digits.
Let's give it a try.
Let's see.
Addition of the 3 digits. Or if you can even comment if somebody wants to actually give a comment on the YouTube to give to actually write a number which you want to comment and you want to actually,
you can give the question to Shiv Shankar.
Yes.
Will you be able to do?
Which one?
If they ask you something.
Yeah, if they are actually commenting, we can write that one because it will more foolproof because it is like beyond distance. A person who is far away, who I don't know who is the person maybe. And we can do that. If a person is
Exactly. If you comment, we'll just get that comment and I'll write it down and Shiv Shankar Maharaj will solve that problem.
We can have the last sum or something, 3 digits to work on that.
Not 3 digits. I want to do subtraction.
Oh, that will be great.
This is the sum I'm showing to the public.
Okay.
Okay.
It's 55 minus 13, which is 5 minus 3, which is 2, and 5 minus 1, which is 4. So it's 55 minus 13. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. Wow. Literally, Maharaj, this is so fascinating. It establishes that the power manifestation science is real, it is authentic. In fact, even Srinivasa Ramanujan, what he experienced was the power manifestation. Right? It was basically coming from the Hindu identity. It was his personal connection with his Ishtadevata, Guru Mahalakshmi. For us, it is Swami. And he is here literally to give the superconscious breakthrough to humanity. With initiation, if you are just talking about, it is only through the Hindu Guru, through his initiation, that the Hindu identity is awakened. And because of that, we are able to manifest these powers. And this powerfulness in our being, and literally boldly assert our Hindu identity. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It was a pleasure being with you today. So let's just please stay tuned for the coming segment. We'll be coming back to today's topic. Thank you. Thank you.
The nature of consciousness. The source of awareness. The relationship between our ego and the world. This has plagued us for generations. We strive to understand why we are the way we are. Why our reality is the way it is. Why our life is the way it is. But what if the way we see the world as separate from us is just an illusion? What if our consciousness exists before all experience and is not limited to the confines of our body and mind?
Today, what I revealed is practically the whole Hinduism in a nutshell. If you make the column, you will see clearly most of your problems are internal non-understanding. When these internal non-understandings are cleared, life becomes Leela. You just manifest what you want. I'll make this as a realization in you all now through this initiation and darshan of Sadashiva.
The nature of consciousness. The source of awareness. The relationship between our ego and the world. This has plagued us for generations. We strive to understand why we are the way we are, why our reality is the way it is, why our life is the way it is. But what if the way we see the world as separate from us is just an illusion? What if our consciousness exists before all experience and is not limited to the confines of our body and mind?
Today, what I revealed is practically the whole Hinduism in a nutshell. If you make the column, you will see clearly most of your problems are internal non-understanding. When these internal non-understandings are cleared, life becomes Leela. You just manifest what you want. I'll make this as a realization in you all now through this initiation and darshan of Sadashiva.
Yes, Nithyananda, welcome back. Yes, after this fascinating power manifestation session that we had with Shiva Shankara Maharaj, it was so fascinating, Maharaj. Literally seeing the power manifestation happening in front of you, in front of your eyes, and even getting people involved, and even they can do this, they can manifest these powers. It really establishes the fact that Hindu identity is in fact real. The fact that it is consciousness based is based on your superconscious DNA that is getting triggered, that is getting ignited by the initiation from an enlightened being, from the incarnation himself. In our case, the Paramashivoham of Paramashivam, the supreme point of Hinduism, Nithyananda, Paramashivam, is that we are able to have the superconscious being to enjoy it, manifest superconscious powers, and also share it with the entire world. And coming back to our discussion, Maharaj, Hindu identity, its values, it needs to be protected, and only Hindu gurus will be able to, and only they can really protect this Hindu identity.
Yes,
now we have seen the problems in that what we are facing because of the attacks of Hindu media forces. Even a simple Hindu guru cannot really run an ecosystem, Hindu ecosystem authentically without any interference and really groom the next generation. Because ultimately the identity is first, the seeds are sown in a child, right? The first Hindu initiation, the Gayatri initiation happens when you're what, age of 7 maybe?
Yes.
That's the age when the Gayatri initiation is given. That is the first trigger that is given to the individual, to the child, how to awaken the Pratyekatmaka Chaitanya Jagrata that happens in an individual when the Hindu identity is awakened at such a tender age.
Yeah.
So for that we need a Hindu ecosystem. We need a Hindu guru running a Gurukul. Only through the Gurukul where kids, Hindu children are nurtured, he himself grooms them in his own presence through his body language. He awakens their DNA. It is only through that the Hindu identity is protected. It is only through that it is revived. But unfortunately, there is no place today where it can be done due to the numerous attacks, due to the persecution, cultural genocide, racism, whatever, numerous amount of reasons. And one more important fact that what we have seen now, so much of persecution, Swamiji, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, is the last lamb. He is the last lamb, surviving now, who has the power to reignite and revive this Hindu identity on planet Earth and make Hindus, especially, not just, of course, entire human beings, all the entire human civilization, giving them the breakthrough, but especially the Hindus to, reigniting them, realigning them with their core Hindu identity.
Yes, Maharaj. Just wanted to add one more thing.
Yes.
In Hinduism, if you see the whole world, actually, there are 49 civilizations. So Hinduism is the only one standing because we had this Guru Shishya Parampara where we had a system of reawakening the DNA because we have gone through a lot of destruction, lot of persecution, lot of attacks, lot of attempts to destroy and remove the Hinduism from roots. But that never happened because we had this Guru Shishya Parampara where we again and again got back what we lost. Just it was downloaded and given, downloaded and given. So many times destruction of so many different temples happened, but we always got it back because of this one system, because of the Guru Shishya Parampara and the initiation system.
Avichinna Guru Parampara.
Avichinna Guru Parampara, yes, right.
The unbroken lineage of enlightened masters. That is the core reason that Hindu identity is alive even now on planet Earth, and Hindu civilization is the only surviving civilization
Out of
among all those 49 civilizations, ancient civilizations. All of them are gone. Literally, all of them are gone. Only the Hindu civilization is surviving and now reviving because of the blessings that we are and have the incarnation of Paramashiva between us to revive the entire Hindu ecosystem, enlightened Hindu ecosystem through the nation, the KAILASA nation, the first nation or Hindu. Because since it is not possible to do that, to have and maintain a Hindu, authentic Hindu ecosystem, Hindu nation is needed. We need a Hindu nation because just having some cultural freedom or religious freedom to do this work will not be enough. We need legal protection, we need political freedom, and we need territorial sovereignty to do this work. And that's why a nation, a proper legal nation, is really, in fact, needed. A Hindu nation to do this job of reviving, to protect the Hindu identity. And that is exactly what Swamiji is doing through the revival of KAILASA, the first nation for all Hindus, where he is literally taking the entire, all the Hindu children, because he said, right, even one Hindu child, he can awaken and revive the entire Hinduism.
Yes.
That is the core purpose of KAILASA. So really, when a person supports KAILASA, they are really giving a hand to, into the future of Hindu children, protecting the future of Hinduism through the Hindu children, protecting the Hindu identity through the Hindu children. Investing in KAILASA is literally investing in the future of Hindu children, right? Because it is only through Hindu children, proper grooming, proper initiation into their Hindu identity at from a young age, that Hinduism can be kept alive and it will thrive on the entire planet Earth. And if you want to be a part of this grand revival process, first of all, if you want to personally have the superconscious breakthrough, please sign up for Paramashivoham program, personally taken by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam. The QR code is given, projected below at the bottom of the screen. Scan the QR code, fill the intention form, and our team will reach out to you, and you can be blessed to have direct initiation from the incarnation of Paramashiva, living manifestation, Paramatma Paramashiva himself initiating you into this ancient enlightened cosmic science called Hinduism, directly from Vedas and Agamas. You'll be initiating, you will be bringing the best gifts of Hinduism. You, in fact, even some of the viewers are commenting, they are asking for healing, they have some problems. Best thing that you can give to yourself is filling the intention for Paramashivoham. Coming to this program, you will have the best blessing directly, the initiation from Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam. And also, we would invite you to sign up for the e-citizenship, or KAILASA e-citizenship, so you can be a part of this great revival process, the e-digital nation KAILASA, where you can get the benefits of all the gifts and also be an active member, really, so to speak, in this revival process. And very important thing, one thing I want to tell them, our viewers today, is really boldly declare your Hindu identity, assert your Hindu identity powerfully. Powerfulness is really the USP, the selling proposition of Hindu identity. Proudly declare that you are a Hindu. And the best thing that you can do to revive and to assert this Hindu identity is sannyas.
Sannyas.
Yes.
Sannyas.
Sannyas is the way, the only way, if I can say, to completely 110% to assert the Hindu identity, to manifest the Hindu identity. If you want to take sannyas, please scan the QR code. The sannyas QR code is being projected as well at the bottom of the screen. Don't waste time, because literally sannyas is the only life. There is no other life.
There is no other life. Sannyas is the best life. Sannyas is the best life that anyone can live. It is not only living, it is projected in the wrong way, but it is the best way to live. Actually, the sannyasis, we are the Nithyananda Rudras. We are living the life of sannyas. We are sannyas. We are proud sannyas. We are the Rudras. We are the Nithyananda Rudras, and we are living the life of sannyas. And this is the best life for anyone to live. If you want to sign up for sannyas, please fill the sannyas form, which is there in the QR code. Please scan the QR code to fill your intentions for sannyas. We'll reach out to you, and you can become a sannyasi and manifest the Paramashivatva inside.
Paramashivoham. If you want to be powerful in any aspect, any dimension of your life, literally,
Sannyas is for you.
sannyas is the way. Sannyas is for you. So don't wait even a single second. Sign up now for the sannyas intention, sannyas initiation. Okay, so now this brings us to the end of today's exciting segment, right?
Yes,
we have with more exciting content. Please keep on commenting and please give us a thumbs up and share this video and content with others as well if you like our content. And please don't forget to press the bell icon as well if you want to continue to receive the notifications of our content.
Yes,
so with this,
we have one comment. We have a comment from Shashank K. How can I visit KAILASA? He's asking, how can I visit KAILASA? You can fill the intention form. You can also apply for that. Yes.
See, the best thing right now can be either if you want to personally experience, sign up for Paramashivoham.
Yes.
And in addition to that, sign up for the e-citizenship as well. That is the best thing that we can, point out to you right now what you can do.
Yes.
The rest we will take care. Don't worry.
Yes, you can do these both, and first you can go and scan the QR code and first fill your intention form for the Paramashivoham, and we call it Paramashivoham, and also make sure that you are signing up for the KAILASA free e-citizenship.
Yes. Once you are an e-citizen, you are coming on board, at least on the digital platform, continuously receiving the gifts, being up to date of what is KAILASA, or to be a part of KAILASA, the entire ecosystem starting to be a part of it, and then more and more will come, and more will follow. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's segment on Nithyananda TV. So we will get back with more exciting content in the future. Till then, that's it, Maharaj.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Okay. Thank you.
Finish with the Purna Mantra.
Purna Mantra, yes.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavad Nithyananda Paramashivam Karpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Thank you.
The nature of consciousness. The source of awareness. The relationship between our ego and the world. This has plagued us for generations. We strive to understand why we are the way we are. Why our reality is the way it is. Why our life is the way it is. But what if the way we see the world as separate from us is just an illusion? What if our consciousness exists before all experience and is not limited to the confines of our body and mind?
Today, what I revealed is practically the whole Hinduism in a nutshell. If you make the column, you will see clearly most of your problems are internal non-understanding. When these internal non-understandings are cleared, life becomes Leela. You just manifest what you want. I'll make this as a realization in you all now through this initiation and darshan of Sadashiva.